How's it going out there? Hope you're doing wonderfully well on this terrific Tuesday lunchtime. We were to go early there a little while ago and we had a couple of technical malfunctions, so we only got started now. So this live is about awakening from the hypnotic slumber. What it's about waking up to the possibilities in your life, about waking up to the energy and the power that's flowing to and through you, and also waking up to some habits that we may have and we may have had for a while that we're really looking to change. So if you've got any questions at all, ask away. James will share the answers, won't you, James?
I will indeed.
And he'll keep us right here on track,
on
board as always. I want to read you out a little story just to begin with. And this is about an elephant. So an elephant can lift in excess of a ton weight with just its trunk. Still, an elephant is conditioned to stay in one place with a weak rope or a stake. Only a small rope tied to an elephant's foot can hold it. No chains, no cages. And it's obvious the elephant can at any time break away from its bonds, but for some reason it does not. The reason is that when the elephant is a baby and much smaller, it is tied to a strong chain and a strong tree. The baby is weak, but the chain and the tree are strong. The baby is not used to being tied, so it keeps tugging and pulling the chain in vain. And a day comes when it realises that tugging and pulling will not help it, so it gives up. Thinking that it cannot break away from the bond, it stops and it stands still. And when the baby elephant becomes the mighty giant elephant, he is tied with a weak rope and a small stake. The elephant with one tug could walk away free, but it goes nowhere because it's been conditioned to believe that it cannot break away. It believes that the rope can still hold it, so it never tries to break free. So on reflection, like the elephants, people also go through life hanging on to a belief that we cannot do something, simply because we have failed at it once before. We've also been held back by our old beliefs and avoid trying something new because of a limiting belief about ourselves. At times, we are also held back by someone else's limiting beliefs about ourselves. Whatever we can conceive and believe, we can achieve. So the conditioned mind, it's very useful for certain things like tying your shoelace and driving cars and putting your clothes on and eating your food and all those types of things. But when it comes to really, going for your dreams and your goals and achieving those things that you really want to do in your life, it becomes a challenge, because your mind, believe it or not, does not want to change. It wants to keep things the same, and it's there to protect you. One of our very first human needs is the need for security and the need for certainty. And let's face it, if you want to do something new, if you want to change something in your life, you're going to have to do something different, because you're not going to realise your dreams and realise your goals by living the exact same life that you're living right now at this moment in time. And it doesn't matter what successes that you've had in the past. It doesn't matter where you've been in the past. It doesn't matter what you've overcame in the past. You're still going to have to change something within your being in order to realise something new. It's always going to be the way. So why do human beings resist change so much? And again, it's back to the conditioned mind. So you might have something out there at this minute in time and you've been looking to change it for years. Or you might have an idea or a dream or a goal that you've been looking to achieve for years. But there's been something holding you back and preventing you from taking action on that. And what that is a conditioned mind. So if you've been suffering from procrastination, understand that's part to do with the conditioned mind. If you've been had a big dream and you haven't made steps on it, that's part of the conditioned mind. And you kind of have to ask yourself, at what stage am I actually going to be ready to take the steps and move forward in this? So this is why we call the first section of our event, Reignite Your Ultimate Power, we call the very first section is Awaken from the Hypnotic Slumber, because it is like lots and lots of people are asleep. And unfortunately, this is the way most people have been taught in society. So if you think about it, you're born as a child, a baby, and you're born into this world, and you're full of joy, you're full of happiness, aliveness, everything's exciting and everything's new. And then that baby starts to go through life and it goes to school. And this is one of the first conditioning processes. So if you think about school, the bell rings, ding-a-ling-a-ling-ling. You go to school, bell rings again, ding-a-ling-a-ling-ling. You have your break, the bell rings again, ding-a-ling-a-ling-ling. Back into the classroom, the bell rings again, ding-a-ling-a-ling-ling. Lunchtime, the bell rings again, ding-a-ling-a-ling. Back from lunch, the bell rings again, ding-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling. And now you go home. And there's lots of wonderful things about school, but we have to realise and understand that the schooling system that we came through was based on the industrial age, and that's based on back in the mid 1800s or early 1800s when people were conditioned and programmed to work in factories, and that's why our schooling system was set up like that. Now the best schooling system in the world right now is in Sweden, and believe it or not, the children there only go to school about 3.5 to 4 hours a day, and they get little if nothing homework, and they're allowed to select the subjects that they want to do. And them children have actually got the best grades, and that's the best school system in the world right now. So you'd think that, you know, everyone would adapt the best schooling system. But why don't we in the Western world adopt it? Why don't we adopt it in Ireland? Why don't we adopt it in Northern Ireland? Why don't we adopt it across the UK? Why don't we adopt it in other countries in Europe? And again, this is because it's a conditioned mind, it's security. Quite often you hear it said, it's better to stick with the devil that you know than the devil that you don't. Well, I think it's better not to stick with any devils at all, and to change things up and to go for a life. So you have the tree of life, and we have the tree of knowledge. And knowledge is very important, absolutely very, very important. And it helps us in life. But oftentimes, knowledge, knowing something, actually gets stuck in the way of us actually doing something that we want to do. So for example, we're doing our event at the minute, Reignite Your Ultimate Power. And this is called Reignite Your Ultimate Power. And we've had some people on the phone that says, well, I went to Ignite Your Ultimate Power in October. Is that not the same? Have I already done that? And I say, no, you haven't already done that. Because life always changes, things always change, and you always change. It's kind of like when you read a book. And you can read a book, and then 2 years later you go back and read that same book, and it seems like a totally different book. Because you're in a totally different place yourself. You're further on ahead down the line, and you're learning something new. Any questions in there, James?
Well, Fitty's watching live, says hello. Rosie has said hello, she agrees with everything you're saying as well.
Rosie.
And everything, yeah, and Suzanne says hello as well. Rosie says the mind can be like a battlefield, Stevey.
So we're going to be on here for another 5 minutes. If anyone has got a question in particular, we can answer the question around waking up. And yes, Rosie, the mind can be like a battlefield quite often for many, many people, and that's why we're running events like Reignite Your Ultimate Power, and that's why James ran an event called Your World Within. Because what it's all about is taking back control of your mind and taking back control of your emotions so you can go forward. We all have challenges in our lives. We all go through difficulties all the time. If you're a human being, you do. If you're not going through enough difficulties, you're maybe not alive enough at this moment in time and living enough. And the great news is that you do have the ability to take back control of your emotions and take back control of your life. But step number one is awakening from the hypnotic slumber, waking up to this opportunity of life, saying yes to life, waking up and realising and understanding that, you know what, you didn't make your body, you didn't make your mind, you didn't make any of these things, and that your breath automatically comes to you, that the blood automatically circulates around your body, and that your food automatically digests all by itself. It's waking up to the magic and miracles of life, as you've seen me before with my magic stone. Have a wish on the magic stone. Waking up to the magic and miracles of life, because everything is magic and everything is a miracle. And waking up to this power that you do have. And once you awaken up to that power, then you can start to understand and start to realise that you do have choices. Even though sometimes it feels that you don't have choices, you understand when you're waking up that you do have choices. And that you can choose where it is that you want to go from here. So, to me, it's probably one of the most important things to awaken people up from this sleep. Mass media does not help with the hypnotic slumber. It keeps the majority of us asleep. The tree of knowledge quite often keeps a lot of people asleep as well too. And there's lots of things that need to change. There's lots of things that need to change out there at this moment in time in society. And there's lots of things that need to change in their own lives. And the thing is are you awake enough to realise and understand, yes, things do need to change, and I am now ready to do something about these things that need to change within my society and within my own life. And that's where it all begins. It begins by waking up and saying, right, I'm going to do something about this. I'm going to make a difference. So for a very simple thing, if I'd like you to think of your life in 3 areas. So think of your life in 3 areas. So you could think of your health and your well-being. You could think of your relationship with yourself, or your relationships, which is going that a little bit further, your relationships, by the way. And your career, your mission, or your business. Which should all be the same thing, by the way. And I just want you to think, in these areas, I want you to think of one thing that needs to change.
Right.
Now. One thing that needs to change now. The reason that most people stay in hypnotic slumber is because once they waken up a little bit, it's too painful to waken up, and they look at their life and they look at society, and it seems as if there's so many things to change, and they get completely overwhelmed by all the things that need to change and need to move forward, and then they decide to go back to sleep again. Please don't go back to sleep. If you need to listen to this video, watch this video again, and share this video with your friends. You might want to share this video privately with them in their private Facebook Messenger so people get an opportunity. Share it with yourself in your private Facebook Messenger as a reminder later on to watch this. Because I know now you're possibly at your lunch time now, or you're possibly in work, and there are things that you do want to change, and then there's so many other distractions come in. Delete yourself from some of those distractions and focus on the things that are really important to you. So I'm only asking you for one thing. It could be one thing that needs to change in your area of your career, right? Maybe that one thing is coming in earlier in the mornings. Maybe that one thing is being more productive during the day, or maybe that one thing is a completely career change to something that you love. If you're doing something that you hate, that you absolutely hate, please make changes. Life is short. Maybe it's something you need to change in your well-being. Maybe you've got some habit at this moment in time that you need to change that's affecting your well-being, your state of mind. Maybe you're in worry, maybe you're in anxiety, maybe you're in fear, maybe you're in depression. You can decide right now, even in your state of well-being, you can decide no matter what is going on in your life right now, doesn't matter what is going on in your life right now, you can still choose joy. You can still choose to be happy. You can still choose to be productive. You can still choose to move forward. And I understand there's people out there in pain, because I felt lots of pain myself in my life. But you can still change things when you want to change things. Something else in your well-being is maybe you feel you need to begin to start doing exercise. Maybe you need to start making better food choices. Whatever it is, just pick one thing. And maybe something in your area of your relationships that you need to change, or your relationship. Your relationship is maybe down to how you communicate with yourself. What's your primary question? Are you asking yourself the right questions? Are you nurturing yourself? Are you looking after yourself? Are you taking care of yourself? Are you allowing yourself to receive love? Are you allowing yourself to give love? And maybe something in the area of your relationships. Is there someone in your life that you need to forgive? Is there someone in your life that you need to tell them that you really appreciate them being there and appreciate all the great things that they've been doing for you? Is there somebody that you need to spend a little bit of time with? And if something's popping up, just write it down, because these are the small steps that make the big difference. This is a little bit of a training. If you found this useful, like it, share it, love it. If it pisses you off, hit the pissed off button. Is there a pissed off button, James?
Yep, angry button.
Angry button, right? Whatever it is, let us know. We are here. So we are here, and we help people to realise their dreams and achieve their goals. We do it through a number of different things. We do it through one-to-one coaching, if somebody wants something specific and private. We do it through mastermind groups for business owners and entrepreneurs out there. We also do it through live events. We're doing a big event on the 15th of June called Reignite Your Ultimate Power. And we do it through intimate retreats. The next intimate retreat we're running is in September, and it's called Living Your Epic Adventure. So we're here to do this work. We also do the work in schools through the Super U program, and we also do lots of good charity work as well too, because we are men on a mission, and Team Steveyj is what you call us, and that is the business end of things, and that's what we do, and that's how we make our money. And then we do a lot of work in the charity end things as well too, and we run a not-for-profit business called the Super U program, which is for empowering youth of today. So if any of that resonates with you, let us know, because we'd love to hear from you. Now, on the 15th of June, we're going to be doing 10 hours of training, and this 10 hours of training is for leaders. It's for people that want to awaken from the hypnotic slumber, people that want to connect with their true authentic selves, and for people that want to move forward with absolute certainty and achieve the goals and live the life that they want to live. For people that don't want to dip their toe in the water and just see what it's like. For people that want to be committed to living the absolute best life. Because that's what I'm about here, and that's what James and Kevin and Vinny's about. It's about living the best life and moving people forward and bringing people along. And there's a lot of work to be done among ourselves, and there's a lot of work to be done out there in life. So we always love to hear from people, and we would love you to join us on the 15th of June. If you're someone out there and you're thinking, look, I don't know if I actually can afford that, to come along and to pay that money, well, look, write into one of us and give us your reasons why you feel that you would need to get a complimentary ticket, and why you feel that you would benefit from that, and one of the guys will have a conversation with you, and if you qualify for that, we will do that. But if you can't afford to come, and if you do want to make changes in your life, in your business, in whatever area it is, then you can't afford not to come. Then you should definitely come along. Because together, when you bring a big group of people together that are committed to making changes, that are committed to stepping up, and they're committed to really going for it, what happens is everyone gets charged, and everyone feeds off that energy and that spark. And think about it. You could have the most fantastic car. You could have a brand new Ferrari sitting out there in the car park. It could have a lovely red colour. It could have nice black interior. It could be souped up to the last. Gorgeous alloy wheels on. Lovely tyres on it. And it could have the tank full of petrol, right? But do you see if the spark plug, that little tiny thing, that spark plug, do you see if that spark plug isn't fire and that spark plug isn't working? Your Ferrari ain't going nowhere, because it needs an ignition. So, share the good news, and we love to see you at Reignite Your Ultimate Power on the 15th of June. You can check it out. James will put a wee link below this video afterwards anyway. And we're going to be doing live again tomorrow. We're going to aim for again around 1 o'clock tomorrow to go live, and we're going to be talking about being your authentic self and the importance of being your authentic self, because quite often I have lots of people that will be asking me, how do I find my purpose? What's am I going to do? How do I get to know myself better? I always say, if you can be yourself, then you can live the life that you're meant to live, and you will realise the dreams that you're meant to have. So tune in again tomorrow. Hit that live notification button up there. Make sure you press on as well to see first, otherwise you'll not see our posts first. And keep her lit. Ciao.